Hi, I'm Andrew Buckland and I'm a coach in grassroots community football. I've only really been coaching for the last 5 or 6 years, and it really sort of kicked off as my son started playing football and then my partner started playing football. I guess that was the thing that really sort of kicked it off for me, and why I feel that sport is more than just a game. In terms of professional experience, I work in HR and felt that my sort of background in learning and development transitions really well over into the type of coaching that I really like to do, which is really around developmental coaching, and in particular, coaching women that are new to football. That, I guess, also ties into why sport's more than just a game for me. I've been privileged to see women who have never ever touched a football come along and work their way through, train really hard, learn the skills, play the game, and just have an absolute ball. And seeing the smile on their face at the end of a game is what it really comes down to for me. I guess the one sort of watershed moment for me that really sort of prompted me to start to really advocate for inclusion in sport is seeing the experience that my partner had when she started coaching. Now, she has a lot more experience than me, both in playing sport, but also in coaching. And yet I was considered a more experienced coach and a better coach, and that other coaches would listen to me more than they would listen to her. And that sounded just so wrong to me. For someone who works in HR and sort of really sees the value in diversity and inclusion, I just could not quite get my head around that, particularly with the growth of girls and women's involvement in football. Looking at why it's important that sport's inclusive. So if we look at the business world, we see that when we have inclusive policies in place, when we have real diversity, whether it's at a board level, senior leadership level, or at the shop floor level, you really start to see the benefit in different ways of thinking, different experiences and different backgrounds coming together to make the right call, the right decision. But it's much more than that for sport. If you look at the inclusive nature of sport and the ability for sport to be inclusive, it's those experiences that you see. I remember back to seeing a woman in her 50s getting her first football jumper and hearing the story that she told, how she was always told when she was growing up that she couldn't play football. Her brothers were allowed to play football, but she couldn't. And this woman absolutely lives and breathes it. And seeing the tears of happiness on her face when she got her first football jumper really, for me, shows what a massive impact sport can have when we include players. Well, there's another player who's really contributed to my development personally as a coach. One of our players that I coach at the moment is hearing impaired. And that has really made me have to change my way of coaching and really think about how I include others. The final question is, what advice would I give for those that are feeling marginalised? I think you need to find a platform. You need to have someone who's going to help stand up for you. It can be tiring having to always stand up for yourself, always push to make sure that you're included. You need allies. You need people to help you. And they don't have to be experiencing the same marginalisation as you. But unfortunately in sport, if you look around, you will find other people that are not included. They're not part of the popular clique. So work with them, have a voice, get involved in your club, get yourself on the committee, and start to fight for yourself and for others.